Welcome to Gaming Face. We're here on the PTR to have a look at the Diablo 3 20th anniversary. This is the soul shard you'll get off of Diablo or the Dark Lord, the end of the new dungeon or the new old dungeon. It's kind of useless to say the least. It does an area effect. As you can see, I've leveled it up here to level 62 to see what we can get out of it. But using it through the dungeons and in greater rifts and all is definitely not recommended. It's a leveling only gem. It stuns you when that effect goes off, so it's not that great. Here I'm going to pop it into my helmet. It does have a transmog attached with it, which you can see I've got equipped on my character at the moment, and we'll have a good look at that later. Yeah, you'll see the effect it has while I'm running through the dungeon. It really didn't kill much, or doesn't kill much, but you'll see shortly. So the dungeon is in Old Tristram. There's going to be an event surrounding the opening of the dungeon, so it won't be just like walking in as I'm doing here on the PTR. It's not far from where you port into Old Tristram and just kill the mobs around there. My Demon Hunter's been geared up over a few seasons. The gear is not something which a lot of people would have straight off the bat, definitely. Being able to pick the best pieces. Now, as soon as you go in, you'll notice that you've got 8 points of movement compared to your full 360 movement that you get in Diablo 3. And the graphics are different, your interface is different, you know, your health bubbles and hatred bubbles, etc. are all different, and all your commands are faded out and pixelated, as is the map. There doesn't seem to be many new areas, as in, yeah, they all look different because of the pixelation and the filter, but they are stuff that is currently in Diablo 3. Yeah, enter the dungeon, Labyrinth level 1. Now what I've done in the video is I've just given you a sneak peek at each level, a few seconds in each, so not to spoil everything. But these are all dungeons you've all seen before. It's just got the pixelation mapping over it.
Not ready yet.
They're all dungeons you would have done in greater rifts, etc., or normal rifts, and found throughout the game. I found the pixelation and the graphics to be a little bit distracting after a while. If anything, they gave me kind of a bit of a headache and made me feel a bit nauseous. I never get nauseous when playing games, VR or whatever else. On level 2 you'll find the Butcher. Here he is here, just hidden into a room. He can actually do a bit of damage, so if you're not really well geared, I wouldn't recommend going in to see the Butcher for the first time on P13, unless you know what you're doing. Because he can charge and kill you, as he did in one of my run-throughs without me expecting it, even with my gear on. You'll get the transmog with the Butcher's Cleaver, which is from the original Diablo. Throughout the dungeon you'll find these little hidden areas. I imagine we're going to find special loot and whatever else, and special mobs in these areas as well. So apart from the 17 levels that you get while running through Diablo, including the Dark Altar, which you see here, there's also these other little areas which you can explore. Every time I ran through there was different ones, so there's going to be quite a few different ones to find, and you know, you're forced to run through the dungeon multiple times to get the achievement for all of those little hidden areas. The mobs are fairly similar to what you're used to. Again, just pixelated and dumbed down. The buff mapping's gone off the graphics, etc. There was really no major challenges and no real extraordinary loot, apart from the gem you get off Diablo at the end, or the Dark Lord at the end. Yeah, old school loot that you get, the blue items that you'll see here, like the godly plate of the whale, something anybody who played Diablo 1 like me would remember. It was something you were definitely looking for back then, but it's not something you're going to wear from day to day, but you can use it as a transmog. So as soon as you pick it up you get the transmog, the same with the Butcher's Cleaver and a couple of other items. So there's about 4 or 5 blue items that you'll pick up and use as transmog. On the PTR, for some strange reason, when I went to destroy the items, I had to manually do it the same way you'd destroy a legendary item. There is some tips and tricks when going through the dungeon. So some doors don't just open, you have to find a switch for it, like you see this one here, and it's kind of like a maze. Unfortunately, when I got to the end of this maze, there was actually nothing there at all. It's just an empty room. So that was a little bit disappointing, but yeah, there's gonna be, you know, maybe that's not finished or there's stuff to come, but we'll see once it goes live, or it may even get expanded on as we move forward in the PTR. There's about 4 different map tiles that you'll discover while descending through this dungeon. The mobs vary just like they do in any Greater Rift, nothing too exciting. You'll also find goblin-like stashes throughout the dungeon on the floor, just like piles of rubbish and stuff like that, and they'll have tons of gems or tons of mats in there. I didn't actually find any goblins. I've been through a few times now, 3 or 4 times, and I haven't seen a goblin in here whatsoever. But those loot stashes that were hidden on the floor do drop about the same amount of loot as you can get from a goblin. Pylons are exactly the same, and as I said before, the only loot you're going to get that is unique is the blue stuff, like you see here, the plates of the whale. There's a helmet there, or an old school looking ring, which can't be a transmog, a couple of swords, I think there may even be a bow in there as well, but nothing that I thought was like, wow, really cool. It was all a bit of a letdown, but it's not meant to be new and exciting. It's just stuff taken out of Diablo 1 from 20 years ago. So very simple swords, very simple armor. I threw a lot of the stuff away, but you know, you've got it. Once you picked it up, you've got the transmog straight away. Once you get down to level 9, it changes up a little bit. So similar to a few of the caves you find around the areas. One particular one looped around in a circle. I found this black mushroom as well, or you know, what do they call it again? The rotten mushroom. Not too sure what it does as yet. We'll find out shortly, I imagine, if somebody hasn't already found out what it's for. But it was definitely in every single dungeon or every single run through that I went in. I found the rotten mushroom there. And you can pick up as many as you like. I you know, picked it up every time I went through, so I had like 3 or 4 in my inventory at the end, so it's not like a one item pickup thing. As I said before, when I was running through, I did actually get nauseous due to the frame rate, I guess, or the effect of the frame rate they've put on the game. My frames were at 60-70 frames per second, so there was no issue with my system. I'm running a fairly high-end system here across 3 27-inch monitors, only running in 1080p, so I'm not running 4K or anything like that. But it wouldn't really matter what resolution you're running in with this, because they've made it look like you're running in 640 by 480. I've played my fair amount of games at that resolution, and I would definitely like the ability to turn this special effect off. You can see there, I just got hit by the special effect from the gem I've got in my helmet, which you get off the Dark Lord. It stuns you when it does that, so you've got to be careful when using it. If you're standing in, you know, fire or whatever else, and you get that stun, yeah, fair enough, you might do some damage to the mobs around you, but you're going to die also, or could take a good chance of dying. So again, this is a gem I definitely would not recommend for any hardcore players. It adds that extra risk. If the stun element wasn't part of it, it might be a bit more fun. But even at level 62, I found it wasn't really doing a lot of damage to the mobs in T13. It might do damage to lower end mobs. It might be an okay leveling gem if that's your thing. You're going to get it in January only, so you're going to be able to use it during one season. If you go out and get it the first thing, use it while leveling up, and that's about it really. There's a few different special mobs you'll see through the different levels of the dungeon, and I imagine some of them are going to be unique spawns or rare spawns, which will have special pets or, you know, armor or weapons. But yeah, we'll see a little bit further down the track to what actually drops. I did see a cow drop, a cow pet. It's a normal cow, nothing, you know, not like a 2-legged cow or anything like that. It's just a cow. Not too sure what other pets are in here. So this is the Unholy Altar, so this is actually like an extra level. It's quite kind of small. You gotta be careful when you're going in here. You access the portal there and bang, you get spawned into a room with a whole heap of mobs. This is something which may get some players who are not properly gear killed, so just be careful on that. I'm not too sure if it's going to spawn the whole group in there at once, but anything can happen. So if you're running this route, just be careful. Don't want to get any of your buddies killed by spawning them into a massive area. As you can see, I just there didn't actually trigger my special cooldown, but lots of mats here, so picked up all the mats and a couple of other loot items. That was the most exciting thing that I got out of there. And now we go down to the final level. So I'm going to let this play out normally. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm going to let you see the whole final level. It's not that big. It doesn't take too long to get here. The whole process to get down to this level took me about 35 to 40 minutes. So it's not a small area. It's quite large. Yeah, I've cut down the video just to give you a few seconds in, you know, maybe 15 to 30 seconds in each area just to give you a bit of a look. But if you were to explore the whole thing, I would say you've probably got about an hour of content if you thoroughly explore everything, unless you're super fast and you get caught around everywhere. It's like some of the monk builds. But Demon Hunters don't move too slow. Now this is the Dark Lord. As you can see, he's very old school. He looks exactly like Diablo. I slowed down his death here. The animation is kind of cool. It is very old school. It is exactly how I remember it from playing Diablo 1 20 plus years ago. All excited to be able to play a game that randomly generated a dungeon. It was different every time I went in. So he will drop the Soul Stone, which I showed you before. It's a guaranteed drop the first time you kill him. If you've got it equipped in your helmet, he's not going to drop it again. If you go in there with a new character that doesn't have that Soul Stone, or the Soul Stones in your not in your bank, he'll drop again. It is a transmog. I'll show you some of the transmogs that we've got here. These are some of the plates that you get. Again, on my Demon Hunter at least, they might look different on other characters, but they were nothing too original. Actually, they look like reused skins, maybe different color palettes. Maybe.
Still waiting.
I'm not too sure without going through them all and checking, but I didn't see anything that stood out as being unique. The Butcher's Cleaver is unique. Not there. Ready yet. It's a nice looking axe. The helmet was just a red hood for me. Looked exactly like the hood that was right beside it there in the thing in the selection panel. Yeah, again, I was hoping for more. We might get more. They might add unique, unique outfits to these particular items, but at the moment they don't look any different. But we'll see what happens once it goes live. I really do hope that they give them a unique look. The Soul Shard that you get from Diablo does have a unique look. You've got this big soul shard shoved into your head, your eyes are all dark, you look kind of zombie-fied or vampire-fied. It's really cool. You don't need to have the Soul Stone equipped into your helmet to have that transmog on your normal helmet. You can just use it once you've unlocked it. That's it from me at Gaming Face here this time. Hope you enjoyed this 20th anniversary dungeon run through on Diablo 3. I'm heading back to the live servers, or at least the seasonal servers, to see if I can find some more loot for my Demon Hunter. This is Johnny Gat signing out.
Not ready yet.